President Trump gets his revenge as the RINO neocon Liz Cheney gets ousted from her leadership position. In this video, we're going to take a look at the meeting of Republicans that voted to strip Cheney of her leadership position, how some RINO establishment Republican outlets are complaining and whining about the decision, and why the stripping of Liz Cheney's leadership is just the beginning for taking back our party from the RINOs. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. We are your antidote every day to fake news as we analyze current events and live some super awesome conservative trends in these crazy and turbulent times, helping you to stay sane. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive in here, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's the makers of this beautiful, this awesome Fighter Flare flashlight. You're going to love this. One of the best things you can invest in for your protection when the lights go out is a 6-in-1 beauty, which comes with a 3000 mAh solar-powered recharging battery equipped with a high and low beam light that you can see from miles away. It's got an emergency strobe light, it's got a compass, it's got a wire and rope cutter, it's got an emergency glass breaker hammer, and a high-powered military-grade magnet. It is awesome. And best of all, if you click on that link below right now, you're going to get 20% off the regular price. But supply is limited, so do not wait. Click on that link below and get your super awesome Fighter Flare flashlight today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Liz Cheney is out. It is official. The queen of the establishment neocons has been deposed of her chairmanship leadership position over the House GOP conference. House Republicans met behind closed doors in the Capitol today, where they voted by secret ballot. The result was certainly not a surprise. Liz Cheney has been defiant in the wake of Republicans' call for her to, drop her whole anti-Trump shtick. Cheney has made her non-stop heckling of Trump and his supporters the centerpiece of her political posturing. Recently, she actually went so far as to declare that any congressman or senator who challenged the integrity of the election or the electors actually disqualified themselves from running for president. So people like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, Rand Paul, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, they are all now officially disqualified from seeking the Republican presidential nomination. That is in the world of neocons like Liz Cheney. In response, Texas Representative Lance Gooden, a major pro-Trump patriot, tweeted out his prediction on Saturday that Liz Cheney is indeed on her way out of her leadership position. Liz Cheney promised she will campaign on impeaching Trump every day of the week. Good luck with that, Liz. Prediction she'll be out of her GOP leadership role by month's end. Well, this was a couple weeks back. It didn't even take that long. Liz Cheney has become so repulsive, so anti-Trump, such the darling of left-wing lunatics disguised as journalists, that the GOP overwhelmingly told her to take a hike. President Trump wasted no time in issuing his official reaction. Quote, Liz Cheney is a bitter, horrible human being. I watched her yesterday and realized how bad she is for the Republican Party. She has no personality or anything good having to do with politics or our country. She is a talking point for Democrats. I like that. That's a good point. She's a talking point for Democrats, whether that means the border, the gas lines, inflation, or destroying our economy. She's a warmonger whose family stupidly pushed us into the never-ending Middle East disaster, draining our wealth and depleting our great military, the worst decision in our country's history. I look forward to soon watching her as a paid contributor on CNN or MSDNC. Now, this last barb, shall we say, that Trump is making against Cheney amplifies his son Don Jr.'s tweet a few weeks back. Quote, Liz Cheney knows she can't get reelected in Wyoming because the people there hate her. So she's trying hard to make sure her new friends at CNN will hire her when she loses her primary. Hashtag Lincoln Project Liz is less popular with Republicans than Andrew Cuomo is at nursing homes. Ouch, I love it. Oh, what a great tweet. Lincoln Project Liz, I mean, priceless. The Lincoln Project, of course, being that group of vile, hateful so-called Republicans. I think they've been disbanded now that their co-founder, John Weaver's being accused by nearly 24 young men and boys of sexual harassment, while the other co-founders were apparently busy personally profiting off of the tens of millions of dollars they raise. So Lincoln Project Liz, it is. That's just too good. Now, in all seriousness, Don Jr. is absolutely right here. I think he's spot on in terms of how the swamp of establishment RINO Republicans react when they know they can't win. What they do is they pivot over to become a darling of the mainstream media, the Marxist MSM, in order to curry favor for a future gig as a so-called Republican commentator on CNN or MSNBC. And the mainstream media is filled with RINOs who've been put out to pasture by their constituents, and they discovered that they can have this lucrative career bashing Republicans, bashing Trump supporters, bashing us, deplorables, the MAGA crowd, and being swamp creatures. They have absolutely no scruples in doing so. And make no mistake, there is no way at this point that Liz Cheney is going to make it past the primaries in Wyoming. She is as politically dead as a politician can get. One of the latest polls out on Cheney shows that only 13% of voters in Wyoming would re-elect her, gang. 13%. My friends, that is what is called a total and complete political collapse, right? 13% support. In addition to pour salt on the wound is where 75% of Republican voters in Wyoming have a negative opinion on Cheney. And this is in a state where Trump won by a margin of 70%. And her press conference after being stripped of her chairmanship shows exactly why they don't like her. It shows exactly why so few in Wyoming like her, and it shows exactly why she was ousted. She said, quote, listen to this, quote, "I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never, ever again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. We have seen the danger that Trump continues to provoke with his language. We have seen his lack of commitment and dedication to the Constitution. And I think it's very important that we make sure whomever we elect is somebody that will be faithful to the Constitution." And that, my dear, is why you're not only gone from your chairmanship, but you have virtually no chance of getting reelected either. I mean, think about what she said. Think about it. If you didn't know who said that quote, right? If I quoted verbatim for you that, and then I gave you some options, like, do you think that was Nancy Pelosi, Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, or Liz Cheney? I mean, the very fact that Cheney's comments are literally indistinguishable from some of the most radical Marxists in our nation tells you precisely why she's collapsed as a viable political figure in the Republican Party. But not all Republicans are happy about this. There is a vocal minority that actually believes the problem in GOP is not Liz Cheney. But first, I am so excited to invite you to our brand new Patriot Entrepreneur Live event that we're holding on June 4th and 5th. It's a virtual conference, so you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home. And you can secure your seat simply by clicking on the link below and registering today. You're going to be focusing on how we can together rise up against woke cancel culture and build back the world that we know and love together. So if you're a patriot entrepreneur who's frustrated and feeling trapped in your woke job, passionate about your work, but disheartened about your woke environment, or perhaps you're a current business owner who wants to take your impact to the next level, I want to invite you all Patriot entrepreneurs to join me at our upcoming Patriot Entrepreneur Live. I've invited top conservative entrepreneurs to join me and share their wisdom with you as together we build a world of freedom without sacrificing our callings and our talents. And I hope to help you live out your calling free from cancel culture, woke corporations, and the grasp of leftist ideologies, and give you all the tools you need to be living the life of complete freedom. Now, if you click on that link below right now, you're going to take advantage of our early bird special and register at a super low price. But that special offer is going to expire very soon, so don't miss it. Click on that link below right now, and I'll see you for a weekend that promises to be a game changer like never before. All right, so the Neocon editors over at National Review are, of course, lamenting the ouster of Cheney. These legacy Bush Republicans, corporate globalist hawks, believe that Trump is actually the problem, not Cheney. This is from the editors, quote, "It isn't Cheney who is preventing Republicans from moving on and repairing the wounds from the 2020 election. It's Trump himself. 6 months after being defeated, he still won't drop it. In statements and TV appearances and impromptu speeches to small crowds at Mar-a-Lago, these statements are divisive and false. Yet the same Republicans now coming after Cheney don't raise a peep about them. Indeed, Cheney is being accused of distracting from the fight against Biden when some Trump supporters have displayed more passion about taking her out than opposing Biden's $6 trillion agenda. If Cheney's enemies think we should be talking about Biden, not Trump, well, they've certainly picked a funny way to show it. Gotcha. Well, the problem for the National Review crowd is that they don't understand how much they are the problem. I'll agree with them. I don't think Cheney is the GOP's problem either, but she most certainly is a major symptom of the real problem, as are the editors at National Review. The GOP's problem is that it has a leadership made up of neocon RINO establishment elites whose values and concerns are growing more and more remote to the values and concerns of their nationalist populist base. That is the problem. The problem's not Trump, you idiots. The problem is the increasing tendency of neocon establishment elites like Cheney and the editors at National Review to sound more and more as if they're the mouthpiece for CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and expect the new Patriot Republican Party to just stand there and take it. You can't recite the talking points of the permanent political class the way Liz Cheney does and expect a populist-based GOP to sit there and take it anymore. She ends up giving total credence to the Pelosi-led Democratic narrative. This politics of the elite, these wannabe elites over at National Review that they find so attractive, that's the problem. It's too bad that their neocon sensibilities blind them to the fact that as long as GOP leadership sounds like the permanent political class, that leadership will be ousted from power. Now, before you go, you definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded. It's on my big announcement that I promised you over the last few days. I'm quitting my job once and for all. So make sure to click on the link and find out more. I'll see you over there. God bless.